Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we have a special guest with us. He's an author, and he has a new book out right now. You can find on Amazon as well as BarnesandNoble.com, and it's called Book of Lost Souls: The Beginning. I have with us Ray Bush. Ray, welcome to the Horror Room.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure as well. So tell us a little bit about A Book of Lost Souls: The Beginning.
It reads as a collection of short stories, but what it really is the backstories to characters that will be in a upcoming series that I'll be releasing. So that's the build up for more to come for sure.
Nice. Now, so was it hard when you were collecting these short stories to kind of get the audience, that build up and that excitement I want to know to see where these characters go in the future?
It was difficult at first, but once I started getting some traction, it's been really good since.
Now, how long? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Now, how long did it take you to get these gather these collections of short stories and put them together?
It probably took me about a year, but I also narrate them and put them on. I put those online also, so there's audio versions out there as well.
So, as a reader, what are we going to experience when we read A Book of Lost Souls?
You'll experience quite a few emotions. There's some gore in there sometimes, but really it's more like most horror authors. It's more than just one genre mixed in there. There's a little fantasy in there also, some thriller, suspense. Like most of us, you kind of just put a little bit of everything in there and then throw in the scary stuff.
Which is always important. Now, is it hard as an author when it comes to writing short stories to be able to get that audience that beginning, middle, and end in such a short period of time?
It is a challenge, but the way I write, this is just I'll come out as just a part. So I haven't really written the end to anything that I've written yet. So it's just keeping them interested to listen to the next part of the story. And that's where it gets tough. You got to leave them want more at the ending for sure.
Now I can imagine, you working way to the ending. That ending probably changes quite a few times.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not one that plots out, so I just I have a general idea of what's going to happen and how I think it's going to end. But yeah, once I start writing, a lot of that does change. You gotta adapt to the way the characters act for sure.
I can only imagine. Now, right now, when it comes to the indie horror scene, right, this is probably the best time to be an indie horror author. I mean, it is with Amazon and Barnes and Noble and a lot of the small presses and even the publishing houses, it's easier to get your work out there. But what are some challenges that you see as an indie horror writer right now?
The biggest thing for me is just trying to get your name out there, trying to get people to see it. I've got a little bit of traction, but yeah, just the getting your name, getting in front of people. That's been the rough part for me for sure, is getting out there. The writing, for me, that's the easy part, but then you got to edit, and then it starts getting tricky. But yeah. The hardest thing for me has been just trying to get out there, get people to look at it, and get people to see it.
Now, what are some things that you do right now? The market is flooded with horror. What are some things that you do that help you stand out?
So I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, all of them, and I release shorts daily. Some of them I try to do more special effects, and so kind of look high tech kind of stuff. But then the others, I just do a little short video, read part of the story, get like a 25-second little clip to try to get people interested, and then just post that and post it all over the place, and just hope people look at it and enjoy it, and then hopefully want to pick something up.
Now, one of the things you brought up was editing, which is important. What's important, whether you're indie or you're working with one of the big three. But so many self-published authors don't go the edit route. I've read so many books, and you're like, "Oh, where's this going?" Do you think that's going to hurt the indie horror market over time, or do you think those individuals are just going to slowly weed themselves out?
I think they'll probably weed themselves out. It may saturate the indie author scene for a little while, but hopefully it'll thin itself out, and we can get people out there, that need to be read and that kind of thing.
Now, the biggest hot topic right now, especially in indie writing in general, is, and I've talked to numerous small presses and publishing houses, and it is the submissions of AI generated novels and work. What is your feeling about AI writing?
I haven't had a lot of experience with it, but I don't consider it really writing if the AI is doing all the work. And I don't know, it seems odd to put your name on something that an AI bot wrote. So yeah, it's not something I would ever even consider. That's pretty crazy to me to think that actually happens.
And recently, and by the way, I'm gonna tell everyone. So I actually recently finished a AI generated horror book, and it really does seem like a computer or something wrote it, because there's no human to the characters. It seems like a story that just flows, but there's no emotion, there's no character to it. And I mean, I've only read one, but like, I agree with you. Like, I think when it comes to writing, especially, like, you need that human element to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. The AI is not going to be able to put the emotion and, like you said, the character into the characters.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seemed like a robot wrote this particular book, which I'm not going to put out there and tell Riz, but yeah, they're out there, and yeah, and it seems like a robot made the book.
Was it good though?
No, because like I said, it just went on like this monotone.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was good for an AI to knowing that an AI wrote a book. I mean, that was impressive, but like, it was just missing the key factors that that human factors to it, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I actually have never read one. A couple of girls at my work did a little couple paragraphs from AI, and I agree. You could tell that a person didn't write it for sure.
So, what are some things that you're excited about right now when it comes to indie horror writing in the community?
Right now, I'm working with a bunch of other authors. We're trying to get all our work together to get our names out there. We just published a book together, and in total, we have over 13,000 followers between all of us on Instagram.
Jeez.
So that's what we're trying to work on. That we got a lot of talent in there. There's the last one, we had 10 authors. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. There'll be 2 more this year coming. And then also I have another solo project that'll be released probably on New Year's. I'm going to release it for New Year's Day.
Nice. Now I'm assuming that collaboration is important in writing right now.
I feel like it is. It definitely has got me in front of eyes that normally I may not have gotten in front of. Got people to read that normally wouldn't read. We've actually had, in our first one and then this last one, we've had an author in each of them from the UK. And
Nice.
so you get, that's people over there that never would have. I'm from Utah. Somebody in the UK without that never would have. It'd been years before they ever even knew, maybe even if ever knew who I was. Mm-hmm. So the collaboration, getting in front of fans that would have been a lot harder for you to get in front of, that's very important, I think.
And I feel like it's important in all, I would say, all market indie, even like my YouTube channels. I like to collaborate with other YouTubers because, especially in the horror realm area, like because I'm able to get audiences, and they're able to get audiences that normally wouldn't see my work, and they're like, wow, okay, I like this guy. Let me follow this guy too. So I mean, it's to me, there's a lot of creators who say, I don't like collaborating because I don't want to, them to steal my followers. But at the end of the day, it's a combination thing. Like you're gaining some of their followers, they gain some of yours, and I feel like that's the only way, especially indie, is going to work.
I agree. We're all trying to get to the same place. We might as well help each other get there.
So now, as a writer, do you go to horror conventions, and do you go to author conventions to try to get your work out there?
I have not yet. I'm looking into. It's kind of the books are kind of a new thing. I've been doing mostly audio before, so the books are kind of a new thing. So I'm still learning the ropes and learning where to go to get my name out there. It's been pretty tough, but yeah, I'm looking into the horror conventions. I think next week I'm going to be at the state fair in Utah, so selling books. So yeah, it's definitely a challenge, but you can't ever quit. If you really want it, you can't ever quit.
And I can take that as someone who goes to a lot of horror conventions for my show throughout the country. Horror conventions are definitely, I feel like for a lot of indie authors, it's an untapped resource. It's a great way to get your name out there, and it's also a great way to get book sales because you get to get that one-on-one interaction with horror fans, and that's something that social media, I think you kind of miss out on social media, is that one-on-one interaction with actual human beings.
Oh yeah, that for sure. And then like at the horror conventions, that they're there for that. Like
exactly,
your audience is already there. Like you don't even have to do anything.
I 100% agree. Now, Ray, have you been a horror fan your whole entire life?
Yeah, pretty much. Going back all the way to The Shining and that Salem's Lot. Watched those as a kid growing up. Then, just kind of moved on to followed it my whole life. It's a lot better now, though, because when I was a kid, I was scared of everything. So, yeah. Those movies scared the hell out of me, but now it's okay.
Me too. All right, so if you watch my show, I'm going to do something right now. So I'm going to ask you 3 random horror questions. This is your personal opinion.
Okay.
So what is the first horror movie that you watched that really scared the shit out of you?
The Exorcist, for sure. That movie traumatized me for a long time.
Now, have you rewatched it since?
I have, yeah. It's not, yeah. You can tell it's not bad.
Yeah.
Especially when you go back. I've watched a lot of 80s and late 70s because I'm a 70s kid. And so, yeah, when you go back and watch, you're like, why was I even scared of this?
Exactly. I'm an 80s kid, and I feel the same way. I'm like, like Candyman was the first movie that I watched that really scared the crap out of me. And I watch it back now. I'm like, okay, it's still a great movie. It still has a what's going, but I was like, okay, I don't know. It's aged well, but at the same time, I guess older than I am, there's certain things there's elements in that movie that I was scared of as a kid because they had to deal with kid, and now I'm an adult. I'm like, those are elements I don't have to personally deal with.
Yeah, that makes sense.
On the second movie, the second question is, if you had to do a Mount Rushmore of horror villains, could be from books or movie, who would be on your Mount Rushmore?
I've always loved Jason. He's from Friday the 13th. Negan from The Walking Dead. From the TV series, Jeffrey Dean Morgan kills that part. So
Kills
him. Yeah. Darth Vader was another one. And then probably Jack Torrance from The Shining.
Excellent one. Jack Nicholson's terrifying in that.
He really is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have been able to act in that movie with him the way he looks at her sometimes.
No, just the eye, the way he does his eyes, the facial expressions, it was terrifying.
It really was.
Now, the final question is there an author out there, tell us an indie author out there that you know about that most people don't know about that you feel is underrated and that we should definitely be checking out their work as well?
I would go with, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, MT Hart. They do a lot of, I think they're mostly audio, but they do their vampire series.
Oh.
And they're very, very, I've listened to the whole thing. It's the Immortal series. And that's very, very good.
Okay, so I'm writing that one down. All right. So, Ray, where can everyone find you, my friend?
I'm at Lost Souls 801 on Rumble and free on Patreon. Ray Bush _, or Ray Bush 101 on Instagram. Lost Souls _YT on TikTok. And then Lost Souls 801 on X. And then I have three collaborations on Amazon. They're called Tales from Deranged Minds. And then, of course, the Ray Bush Presents A Book of Lost Souls.
Awesome.
And
that's
one's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, like you said.
Well, if you go down in the description box, everyone, I have the links to Ray's collaborations and his books on Amazon. So definitely feel free to grab yourself a copy. Ray, it's been an absolute blast to have you on, my friend.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you again. It's really appreciated.
You're welcome, my friend. Anytime, man. Anytime you want to come on, just let me know, and I'll be glad to have you on.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Everyone, thank you for coming to the Horror Realm. I'm Travis Bruce, and that's Ray Bush. We'll see you next time. Take care.